joining tonight, and welcome to the virtual public information meeting for the State Project 140-180, which is the replacement of Bridge 1846 carrying Route 222 Hill Road over the Naugatuck Railroad in the town of Thomaston.
Na drodze Naugatuck w mieście Thomaston na liniach kolejowych.
My name is Thomaston, and I am the project engineer with the Connecticut Department of Transportation, consulting bridge design. If you would like to submit your questions through email, please use the email provided on the screen, dotproject140-180@ct.gov. If you prefer to submit your question by phone, you can leave a voicemail at 860-594-2020, now, during the meeting, or later. We will be checking the voicemail periodically during the presentation so that we can address your comments and answer your questions. Please state your name, contact number, and reference the project number 140-180 as the reason for your call on the voicemail. The Q&A box and the voicemail will be screened by the project team and will be read out loud later. Questions may be asked anytime during the presentations, but they will be answered at the end. A recording of tonight's meeting will also be made available on the project webpage. The webpage will also include information on how to leave questions and comment to the project team. The website shown on the screen, which is https://portal.ct.gov /DOT Thomaston 0140-0180. The question and comment period by email or phone will be open through June 4th, 2026.
Do 4 czerwca 26 można wysłać pytania, można wysłać komentarze.
To use the Zoom Q&A feature, select the Q&A tool at the bottom of your Zoom webinar window. The Q&A window will open as seen on the right. Then you can type the question in the text box and then click enter, and it will submit the question. If you are an audio-only participant, please dial *9 to raise and lower your hand.
Można teraz wcisnąć gwiazdkę i wcisnąć opcję, żeby podnieść rękę.
I would now like to introduce the project team. First on the top row, we have from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, Derek Lechard, the Division Chief of Bridges, and then Gregory Funk, the Principal Engineer. On the bottom left, we have Chris Patria, the Supervising Engineer, and on the bottom right, myself, Thomaston, the Project Engineer.
I po prawej stronie ja, Thomaston, czyli inżynier projektu.
Additionally, VSB is working on the project as the department's consultant liaison engineers. From VSB, we have Mark Levesque, the CLE Program Manager, and Jonathan Carelli, the CLE Project Engineer. Lochner was selected as the design engineer for this project. Thank you for bearing with me. I will now hand it over to John, who will begin the formal presentation for the bridge replacement project.
Sprawy Johnowi i zaczniemy prezentację dotyczącą tego projektu. Pan Lochner był wybrany jako
Thank you, Savash, for the introduction. This is Jonathan Curley working with VHB. I'm here to take care of the rest of the presentation moving forward.
Żeby zająć się resztą prezentacji.
So we'll first start with the project purpose and need. Purpose of this project is to replace bridge number 01846 due to its structural deficiencies in order to provide a structure that is in a state of good repair, capable of meeting current load rating and highway design standards, and improves the vertical and horizontal clearance of railway tracks.
W ramach projektowania autostrad i standardów.
You see our bridge is located just northeast of the center of town, off of Route 8. Carries Route 22 over the Naugatuck Railroad.
22 nad kolej.
This is an aerial view of the site. As you can see, it's a giant S-curve, curve on each of the approaches. The Naugatuck Railroad runs from south to north. Just north of the project limits over here is the Thomaston Dam.
Jest Thomaston Dam tutaj na północ.
These are two photos looking at both of the approaches from the bridge.
Podejście z mostu.
On the left is the south approach. As you
Po
can see,
lewej
there's
stronie
the
jest
curve,
podejście południowe.
slight downgrade. On the north approach, there is also another curve, and it's right between a rock formation as well. You'll see the bridge itself has protective fencing over the railroads as
Gdzie
standard.
jest płot ochronny, który jest standardowy przy tego typu konstrukcjach.
These are two elevations of the structure. On the left is the west elevation.
Po lewej mamy lewą strukturę.
You'll see over the tracks is significant embankments on both sides
Tutaj
that lead down to the
brzegi
tracks.
znaczące po obu
The east
stronach,
elevation,
które schodzą na
significant embankments and
parę
retaining
kolejową
walls,
przy wschodniej
the
elewacji.
bridge, and protective fencing above.
I jest też na górze płot ochronny.
Here's a little bit of information about the existing bridge.
Troszeczkę informacji na temat obecnego mostu.
It's constructed in the year 1960.
Rok konstrukcji 1960.
It has a total travelway width of approximately 26 feet,
Szerokość 26 stóp,
which consists of one 12-foot travel lane in each direction.
jeden pas podróży 12-calowy w każdym kierunku.
The average daily traffic for this crossing is 900 vehicles, and the road supports a posted speed of 35 miles an hour.
Przejeżdża prędkość około 35 mil na godzinę.
The existing structure type consists of steel girders with a 42-foot span. The railroad tracks,
42 cale jest zakres.
As well as reinforced concrete abutments and wing walls.
Wzmocnione betonowe wsporniki.
The structure itself is on a scale of 0 to 9. The deck component, the reinforced concrete deck, is rated 6.
Podstawa jest oceniona na 6.
The steel superstructure is rated 5.
Podstawa oceniona na 5.
And the substructure is also rated a 5.
I tutaj podstawa poniżej oceniona na 5.
One of the primary purposes too for replacing the structure is that there is substandard vertical clearance to the railroad tracks below.
Nowe miejsce dla tych linii kolejowej Naugatuck. Chodzi o pionowe miejsce dla kolei Naugatuck.
So to replace the structure, we're going back with a widened structure. Which supports two 11-foot travel lanes and two 5-foot shoulders.
Robi to jest 11,6 i
on both ends there'll be reinforced concrete parapets with protective fencing.
Wzmocnione parapety betonowe, będzie płot ochronny.
And we'll have what's called reinforced shear slab for waterproofing protection to lock everything together. A standard asphalt
wszystko zabezpieczyć. Standardowy asfalt, żeby ochronić.
The superstructure will consist of precast, pre-stressed, reinforced concrete deck units. As you see here.
Czy składać to ze stalowego podłoża.
The bridge the span itself will be a little bit longer at 45 feet.
Dłuższa szerokość.
And maintain the existing skew of approximately 36 degrees.
Mamy ten zakres 36 stopni.
Be founded upon cast in place reinforced concrete abutments.
Będzie to na wzmocnionych spornikach z zwiększonej, wzmocnionej stali.
For us to complete the work, there will be full depth roadway construction within the majority of the project limits, which will allow us to raise the roadway profile.
Będziemy mogli zwiększyć profil linii kolejowych.
Full depth construction to slightly widen the roadway on the approaches.
Żeby była szersza droga przy podejściu do mostu.
And that will be tied into the existing with sections of milling and overlay.
Połączony z obecną już sekcją.
A new guide rail will be provided within the project limits and attached to the new bridge structure.
Nowe dołączona poręcz do struktury mostu.
The drainage will be adjusted within the project limits as well to match the new roadway profile.
Będzie dostosowane do profilu drogi i profilu projektu.
The structure will be replaced in its entirety, including the deck, the steel, and the reinforced concrete wing walls.
Podłoże będzie wymieniony całkowity most, podstruktury oraz ściany boczne.
And for access during construction, you'll see here in pink is a temporary access road for the contractor to access the area down by the railroad tracks.
Dla zleceniodawcy, żeby miał dostęp do linii kolejowej. Żeby dostać się do linii kolejowej.
The lines you see in red represent the state right-of-way lines. So as you see, all the construction takes place within the state's right-of-way.
Tutaj konstrukcje się odbywają w ramach stanu.
To improve the vertical clearance to the railroad tracks, we will have to raise the roadway approximately 9 inches at the bridge.
Około 9 cali koło mostu.
This will be tied into the existing.
Będzie to połączone z obecną.
The baseline of the roadway will be shifted slightly to the north to allow for one lane of alternating traffic.
Na północ jedną linię ruszającego się ruchu ulicznego.
As I mentioned before, there will be a mix of full depth construction and mill and overlay of the approaches.
I podejścia.
To accomplish this replacement, it will consist of 2 primary construction stages.
Dwa etapy tej struktury.
Each stage will maintain one way of alternating traffic, which consists of one 11-foot travel lane with 2 1-foot shoulders.
W obu kierunkach. Jeden do podróżowania.
There will be temporary signalization and illumination in the project limits.
Będą pokazane limity projektu.
At the right here, the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the existing condition, which shows the 2 11-foot lanes and 2-foot shoulders.
Pokazuje jeden pas ruchu i 2 pasy pobocza.
During the first stage, we'll shift traffic to one edge of the bridge.
Ruch na jeden koniec mostu.
Shown here in yellow, which will allow us to construct a portion of the bridge here in orange.
Na zbudowanie struktury mostu na pomarańczowo widzimy.
During stage 2, traffic will be shifted to the new portion of the bridge previously constructed.
Przeniesiony do nowej części mostu wcześniej zbudowanej.
And allow us to construct the second stage or second half of the bridge.
Drugiej połowy mostu.
The resulting final condition will give us our full bridge with 2 11-foot lanes and 2 5-foot shoulders.
11 długości stóp i 5, jeżeli chodzi o pobocze.
Some other project considerations for this within the project limits. There are no underground or overhead utilities.
Ziemię, bądź nie będzie nic nad głową.
As I previously mentioned, for rights of way,
jeżeli chodzi o drogę pierwszeństwa,
all of the access, temporary access, will be within the state's right of way. There are no construction activities outside the state's right of way.
Konstrukcja jest poza drogą stanową.
However, there will be some coordination with the Naugatuck Railroad to access the right-of-way during construction.
Żeby mieć dostęp do drogi przejazdowej podczas konstrukcji.
Since there are no wetlands or watercourses within the project limits,
Ładnych czy obszarów bagnistych w projekcie.
We are not anticipating any environmental permits for this project.
Przewidujemy żadnych pozwoleń środowiskowych, jakie musimy uzyskać na ten projekt.
Now we'll go over the construction cost and project schedule.
Konstrukcji chcę tutaj podać rozkład.
This project is currently estimated to cost $11.2 million.
Kosztować 11 milionów dolarów i 200 tysięcy, 200 tysięcy milionów, 11 milionów i 200 tysięcy dolarów, przepraszam.
Which will be funded by 80% federal funds and 20% state funds.
Rządowy i 20% fundusz stanowy.
The anticipated project schedule, which is always subject to the availability of state and federal funds.
W zależności od dostępności funduszy rządowych.
We're looking at a design completion date of May 24th, 2028.
Maja 2028 roku.
With the project to be advertised on June 21st, 2028.
Czerwca 2028.
This will allow for a start of construction in fall of 2028.
Jesienią 28.
And for us to complete construction in the fall of 2030.
Jesienią 2030.
That concludes the primary part of the presentation. Now we will enter into our question and answer session. Just as a reminder, if you have any questions or concerns, there's a number of ways in which you can contact us.
Sposoby, w jaki możesz się z nami skontaktować.
The first is by email.
Przede wszystkim przez
DOT project 140-180 at ct.gov. By phone at 860-594-2020. We will remain online for a while longer in case you have any questions within the next few minutes. Use the Q&A at the base of your screen. For more information, you can also visit the project webpage. portal.ct.gov/DOT. Thomaston 01-01-80. And the comment period for this project will be open through June 4th, 2026. Thank you very much for attending tonight. And, we'll be here for a little bit longer in case you have any questions that you'd like to have answered.
Mieli jakiekolwiek pytania i chcieliby odpowiedzi na te pytania.
Good evening. My name is Mark Levesque. I'm the project manager with VHB. I'm going to be the MC for the rest of the evening during this question and answer session.
Podczas tej sekcji tutaj polegającej na pytaniach i odpowiedziach.
John has just explained all the ways that you can ask your questions.
Jakie można wysłać pytania?
I have added all of these to the Zoom chat, the email, the phone,
email, telephone,
and the project webpage. We do want to note that there's going to be a recording of this presentation. It's going to be available on YouTube following the meeting.
Po tym spotkaniu.
I have also added the Title 9 to the chat, the Zoom chat, and survey that is really helpful for us to try to improve future meetings. We want to hear your feedback on how you feel this meeting went. And we do have the live Q&A. I'm sorry, I said Title 9, it's Title 6. I'm sorry about that. The survey link is shown on the screen now, but it's also in the Zoom chat. We do not have any questions. We'll stay on as long as we need to. If you do not want to ask a question now, email and phone will be available for the next 2 weeks. We'll be checking it up until June 4th. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. You would rather wait for a question, but we will stay on now. Live.
Państwo preferują z pytaniami, ale też zostaniemy teraz na linii, żeby odpowiedzieć na pytania.
The easiest way to ask a question is to go into the Q&A button on your Zoom. And it'll open up a box and you can type your question and hit enter and we'll see that question and can answer it right away.
I wtedy zobaczymy to pytanie, możemy od razu odpowiedzieć.
Sometimes all it takes is one person to ask a question and a lot of people feel a little more free to ask questions, so
osoby mogą poczuć się zainteresowane również zadać pytania.
You may have.
Jakiekolwiek pytania Państwo sobie życzą.
Once again, you'll have until June 4th, 2026 to ask questions.
Żeby zadać pytania.
Phone number 860-594-2020. Make sure you mention the project number when you leave your message. It's 140-180. Email dotproject140-180@ct.gov. All that information is listed on the project webpage. portal.ct.gov/DOT Thomaston 0140-0180. Like we didn't get any questions, but as I noted, we'll be available to answer them through June 4th, 2026.
Do 4 czerwca 2026
I think we're going to wrap this up now. I think
będziemy kończyć powoli tę prezentację.
We'll be ending for the night. I do want to thank everyone for joining.
Dziękuję wszystkim za dołączenie.